When was the last time you sent out your marketing efforts?
And before you answer that question, think about this. Was it because your system was sending out the marketing efforts?
Or was it because you looked at your pipeline and realized you had nothing going?
Because those are two completely different businesses.
One is an investor who controls their deal flow.
And the other investor is the one who reacts to the absence of it.
So be honest with yourself. Be honest with yourself for the next 10 minutes of this video. Because most of the time I can guarantee it's been the second one for you.
If every deal feels like you're starting from scratch, you don't have a system, you have a habit of freaking surviving.
And me and Jay, we're going to show you what a real acquisition system and business looks like.
And then why most investors, maybe like yourself, stay reactive no matter how long they've been doing this.
And the difference between grinding for deals and then having deals come to you.
What it actually takes to build something consistent enough to scale.
So please stay with us, because if your business lives and dies by how hard you push this week, been there, done that.
Yeah, he can say that again. This video is going to change how you think about everything, how you look at everything.
So here's what inconsistent marketing looks like in the acquisitions business.
So you close a deal, right? And you're focused on that closing, on the paperwork, making sure everything goes smoothly and gets set up correctly.
Right. And while all that's happening, your marketing, your lead gen source goes dead.
Boop, lights out. Then the deal closes, things settle down, right? And you look up.
And you have nothing to work with. There's no deals.
So what's the next thing you do, right? You scramble. You send some texts, you run off to Facebook and do an ad, you call some old leads.
And then all you do is brute force hustle your way to the next deal.
And that cycle keeps repeating over and over again.
You close the deal, the marketing stops, pipeline dries up, you panic, you hustle, you close the deal, same thing.
That's not a business, all right? You're on a treadmill, and no matter how fast you run on it, you never actually get anywhere.
And I'm sure this part's going to sting because most investors have been on that treadmill for years. We were.
Yeah, and it's not because they're lazy, clearly. It's because they don't know how to market, how to create that marketing channel.
They never figured out how to build the one thing that will actually get them off of it.
Right? A system that runs whether you're closing a deal or not.
Right. I want you to imagine something. Think about a waterfall, right?
When you're looking at that waterfall, it doesn't stop because you're not watching it.
Right. And it's not going to wait until you need water to start flowing again.
Right? It's constantly running, consistently, whether you're there, whether Mike's there or not.
That's a true lead gen marketing system in an acquisitions business.
Right? So you want leads coming in while you're closing deals, or while you're on vacation, or while you're just sleeping.
It's not because you hustled harder that week, right?
It's because you built something that runs without you having to force it.
The investors who scale aren't working harder than you. They've built a waterfall, never forget that waterfall, while you're still carrying buckets from the stream.
We're going to break down exactly what that system looks like.
Why most investors stay reactive no matter how long they've been doing this.
The real difference, okay? There's a real difference between systems and that hustle that we're talking about.
And what predictability actually requires before you scale.
The last one, we believe, is the one most investors skip entirely. Don't do that.
Right. So let's talk about what that actual acquisition system and business looks like. We're going to go deep.
Because, like we said, most investors think they have a system maybe that just works for them.
They have a list of things that they do when they need that next deal, right? That's not a system. That's a panic response with steps.
Let me tell you something. A real system has 3 things within it.
It's going to run consistently, not when you feel like it and not when you want it to, and not when your pipeline looks thin.
It has multiple touch points, so you're reaching sellers through more than one channel at a time.
And then it's going to track everything for you. So you know where your deals are coming from and what works and what doesn't.
Okay, so here's exactly what our system looks like and what we teach our students to build.
Yep. Number one is we want you to go live on Facebook every single day.
Not when you feel like it, not when you have something you think is worth talking about. Every single day.
You get on that camera and you tell your audience exactly what you do. And what is that? You help homeowners, you solve real estate problems, and you buy houses on terms that other investors won't touch.
And you do it every day until you become the person everyone in your area thinks of the moment they have a real estate problem.
You're not a content creator. That's just positioning.
All right. So let's talk about number 2 that we want you to do. You get into Facebook groups.
You're posting in there, you're commenting, you're showing up, you're looking for homes, you're looking for sellers, and you're making real, genuine relationships.
Not dropping a post and disappearing. Actually talk to people what the platform was built for, building real relationships in your community.
And every single time you do this consistently, you stop being a stranger to your audience and you start being the go-to person in your area.
And the go-to person will never have an empty pipeline. Shocker.
And number 3 is Facebook ads running to specifically target some baby boomers.
That's the demographic on Facebook. And most investors completely ignore that.
Baby boomers own a huge percentage of real estate in the country right now. They're aging, their homes are paid off, they're carrying low interest rate debts from refinances a couple years ago.
Right? And they want a simple solution. They want certainty. They want to deal with a real person, not an algorithm.
And what Facebook does is it puts you directly in front of them while you're sleeping, while you're closing deals, while you're sitting on the beach.
So when you curate all 3 of these, the lives, the groups, the ads, and you run them at the same time.
Not one at a time, all together, and not when you feel like it. All 3, all the time.
Because here's what we've learned. That lead that you need in 60 days.
It's one that you have to plant that seed right now.
Because there is a lag with marketing.
Right. And if you wait until your pipeline is dry to then turn on your marketing again,
you're already 60 days behind, and no amount of hustle is going to close that gap in time for you and your next deal.
So I'm sure you've always thought the investors that have the deals coming in all the time,
they're not luckier than you, I'll tell you that.
They just never turn the thing off.
So if the system has to run constantly, why don't most investors build it that way?
That's the part that took us forever to understand, truthfully.
Because it's not about knowing what to do.
It's something way, way deeper than that completely.
So I'm just going to burst the bubble and give you the honest truth about why most investors stay reactive. And maybe that's the reason you are in your career so far.
We stayed reactive for the first couple years of our business. And it wasn't because of time, and it wasn't because of money, and it's not because we didn't know how to run the marketing.
It's because that hustle felt productive.
It's addictive. You're grinding for a deal, you're sending texts, you're making calls, chasing leads. It feels like you're being productive and you're on it.
And building that system, setting up those automations, creating content consistently, running ads to a cold audience that won't respond for weeks.
That feels like you're not making money, you're not doing anything.
So that's the reason you keep choosing the thing that feels productive over the thing that actually produces.
And I am the culprit of it. I know that's for a fact. Hustle always felt like momentum, right? But if your hustle stops, your momentum is gone. And that means that it was never really momentum. I was just in a controlled panic state.
We see this with almost every investor who comes to us. They're not lazy. They're actually working really, really, really hard.
Right. But all of that work is going into the next deal, and it's not going into the system that will bring them consistency.
And so every 60 to 90 days, what are they doing? They're starting over.
Same energy, same hustle, same song and dance.
You can't scale something. You have to restart every time. And if your marketing only exists when you need it, you don't have marketing. You have a freaking fire drill.
So now that you understand what a system looks like and why most investors never build one.
But here's where it gets really important. So listen up.
Right. Because a lot of investors hear this and they think, okay, now I just need to hustle smarter.
And that is the wrong mindset.
Because the hustle and the systems are two totally different things. And trying to scale with hustle is one of the most expensive mistakes you can make in this business. Every single time. So let's talk about the difference between systems and hustle. Because most investors think they're actually the same thing, maybe just at different volumes, different wavelengths, or whatever.
They're not.
Right? Hustle is 100% effort dependent. Every deal requires the same amount of energy to find and close.
Which means your output is directly tied into your input. You work harder, you get more deals. You slow down, the deals are going to disappear.
That's a job. Think about when you have your 9 to 5. You clock in and you clock out, you get paid or you don't. It's not a business.
A system is leverage. You put in the work up front to build that process, set up the marketing, create the content.
And then it works for you even when you're sleeping.
Oh, yeah. The social media post that you posted and you made 3 months ago is still generating leads to this day.
Just think about the ad campaign that you set up a few months ago, right? We still have one. It's still running. It's still closing deals.
And your reputation that you build in your community last year, that's still sending you referrals that you didn't even freaking ask for.
That's a true system.
Hustle gets you the next deal, and a system gets you to the next 100, 100,000. And the difference between investors who stay at 6 properties and investors who scale to 30 is almost always this.
And here's what we truthfully want you to hear. You cannot hustle your way to scaling.
You can hustle your way to busy. You can hustle your way to tired. You can hustle your way to a deal every now and then.
But consistent deal flow, the kind that lets you build a portfolio and true financial freedom, the reason you started all of this,
that only comes from a system that doesn't need your hustle to keep running.
Now, here's a part most investors skip that Amy never did.
Even the ones who understand systems, even the ones who are consistent,
there's one thing that always has to exist before any system could scale.
And without it, you can have the best marketing in the world.
And it still won't compound the way that it should.
Scaling requires predictability.
Key point indicators. Most investors have no idea what that means or what's actually even working in their business.
They don't know which marketing channel is their best marketing channel and where their deals are coming from.
They don't know what their average lead to close ratio is.
They don't know how many touches it takes to convert a motivated seller.
They don't track any of it. And we track it every single day.
Yeah, and so when something works, they can't repeat it. But when something stops working, you can't pinpoint it so that you can change it.
And when you want to scale, you don't have anything to scale because you don't know what's working.
You cannot scale a feeling. I'll say that again. You cannot scale a feeling. You can't pour more resources into something you can't measure. Predictability, of course, isn't sexy, but it's the only thing that turns a system into an actual machine.
So here's what the predictability actually looks like in our business and what it should look like in yours.
We know our numbers. You know your numbers. So ask yourself, how many leads does it take to get one deal?
How many seller conversations happen before one actually converts?
Which marketing channel for you produces the most motivated sellers?
And how much does each deal cost you?
When you know these numbers, scaling is just a math equation.
Right? It's like a dial. You want more deals, you turn that dial up, you put more energy into that marketing channel.
And what if you want better deals? Look at which lead source is producing the most motivated sellers, and then you go deep into that lead source.
You want to go to the beach in Puerto Rico like we do? Without your pipeline dying?
And make sure your system can run without your daily attention, because I'm not attending to that. And check your numbers when you're back.
So think about it. If you know your numbers, you own your business. If you don't know your numbers, your business owns you.
So let's bring all of this that we've just been talking about together.
Right. So one, a real acquisition system runs constantly, and it's not when you just need it.
Most investors, maybe yourself, stay reactive because the hustle feels productive even when it isn't building anything.
And system and hustle will never be the same thing. One scales, one is just brute force that'll burn you out.
And before any of it compounds, you need to know your numbers because you can't scale without having it be measurable.
So here's the one question we want all of you to sit with after this video is over.
If you stop pushing this week, if you took your foot off the gas completely, would deals still be coming in? And if that answer is no, you don't have a system yet. And that's the one thing worth fixing right now.
So if your business only moves when you push it,
if your marketing turns on when your pipeline gets thin and turns off when you get busy,
if you've been on the same hamster wheel for the past 12 months and you're like, damn, why am I in the same spot I was the same time last year?
you don't have a hustle problem. That's a system problem.
Right. And building the system is exactly what we do with people inside Roman's Creative Academy, just like we did with Amy.
I love building systems and processes. And we don't just teach strategy, we help you build that actual process for marketing, for your follow-ups, for the conversions, so your pipeline works for you instead of the other way around.
We only work with a small number of people at a time because this work is so hands-on.
So if you're ready to stop restarting and start rebuilding something that actually compounds, apply in the link below. Let's build your system together.
All right. So, Jay, what are we going to be doing in the next video?
We're going to be doing a rent-to-own breakdown, our favorite.
One deal, we're going to be going over this from the very first touch point with that lead.
All the way through the closing.
Right. Every step of the way, we're going to be talking about the conversations, the numbers.
Because if it's one thing to understand the strategy, right? And to know what rent-to-own is.
Right. But it's another thing to actually see it play out from start to finish in real life.
That's where it actually clicks.
Don't miss it.
Disclaimer. This content is provided for educational and informational purposes only. The views and strategies discussed are based on personal experiences and do not guarantee specific results. Real estate investing involves risk, and each individual's financial situation is unique. Always perform your own due diligence and consider professional advice tailored to your circumstances before making investment decisions. This is not a solicitation to attract investors, nor are we marketing any securities. Neither the hosts nor guests assume liability for any outcomes associated with the information provided.